Boy, Sam, it's hard to top that one. Yeah, there needs to be some applause again for that one. I'm going to try to do it, though, with one sweet little girl. On the day Ellis's parents found out they were having a baby girl, they also learned of a very large mass growing on her face and her neck. When Ellis came home from the hospital following several surgeries, Cardinal Hill was waiting for her.
When we had our 20-week ultrasound, we found out that Ellis had some problems. The doctor told us that she had a large growth on her neck and face. It was unpredictable and really scary.
Ellis was born at the Cincinnati Children's Hospital, but not before fetal surgery was performed.
Her airway was so compromised by the mass that they had to give her an artificial airway before she could be born.
Ellis would stay at Cincinnati Children's Hospital for the next 3 months and receive 5 more surgeries.
The first one, she was 6 days old, and then that was to remove the mass. And then she got a feeding tube placed, and she got her trach in to help her breathe, and several other procedures along the way.
Ellis would require a lot of attention, and the hospital made sure to prepare the Hosfields on how to take care of their fragile daughter.
We came home with trach equipment, suction machine, feeding tube equipment with the pump.
I feel like we were very well prepared when we came home, but it was still a huge undertaking and as nerve-wracking as you can imagine.
Ellis needed therapy, but it would be safer if she could receive it at home.
They researched in this area for us which facility would have the most comprehensive therapy for Ellis's needs. And they came back with several recommendations, but Cardinal Hill was at the top of the list. And they said, we really feel like this is the place that she needs to be.
Cardinal Hill offers a program called Home Care, where therapists actually go into the patient's home and treat them there. Ellis was an appropriate candidate for this program because she was so medically fragile.
Our first speech therapist, Amber, was amazing, and she came the next day along with some other people from Cardinal Hill that came to just get us set up in the programs.
The therapists always were upbeat and happy and had a smile, and that really was refreshing to have somebody else in the house and somebody that could bring a little bit of their own happiness with them. Something we could borrow.
Ellis received physical, occupational, and speech therapy at home. Speech therapy was essential because the trach made it difficult for her to make sounds and to swallow.
So she couldn't make any sounds for about the first year and a half. She couldn't cry and let me know something was wrong. She couldn't speak at all.
It was important to develop language skills in Ellis's brain, so the Cardinal Hill therapist taught Ellis and her parents sign language.
The therapists come to the house and they work with Ellis, but more than that, they teach us how to work with her throughout the week.
When we went into her house, it was on her turf, which was good because she was more engaged and it wasn't so unfamiliar for her, so she was able to interact a little bit better. And we used anything in her house that would motivate her. If she wanted to play with the blocks, we played with the blocks. If she wanted to play with the iPad, we used an iPad.
I think having the Cardinal Hill therapist come to our house made a tremendous difference. The goals that she should meet by 3 years old, she has met because of these therapies.
When Ellis turned 3 years old, she began therapy as an outpatient at Cardinal Hill Hospital.
It's been important beyond what we could ever really know or measure to have that help to make sure that we are caught up to the point where we are now with Ellis and that she's doing as well as she is. I don't think we could have done any of it without the help from Cardinal Hill.
Stolen our hearts, and we're in love with her parents as well. Please welcome Ellis right here and her mom and dad, Greg and Jessica Hosfield of Lexington. Thank you all so much, first of all, for sharing your story and sharing her with us. Jessica, talk to me. This first year when she was born, challenging. How did you get through it?
Well, as you've already spoken about, she had, the trach was completely blocking her airway and she couldn't speak, so that was a challenge. In addition to that, you know, there were times when she couldn't breathe on her own. She couldn't swallow, not even water. She couldn't sit up or roll over like a baby should at her age. And so every day we wake and sleep with the motto that I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And God has just supplied us with the right people at the right time. Her doctors, her therapists, of course, our parents.
Mom, it's hard to take you
I
serious
know,
when
it's
she's-
fine. I love it. I love that. You know, our parents and family, our friends, our huge church family,
Sure.
just the right people at the right time have been there for us.
Great. You know, you guys could be at home doing anything on this beautiful Sunday afternoon, but you chose to share her story. Why?
Well, it's a success story, and I think it's important to share. You know, there have been some difficult times, but there have been some great and amazing moments of success that we're happy to let other people know about. You know, through prayer and the talent of the people around us, we've gotten to some great places. And Cardinal Hill is part of that, and so we were asked to be part of this, and we didn't hesitate for a moment. We were happy to give back in any way we could and help others know what Cardinal Hill has done for us.
I think anybody could tell she is a 3-year-old through and through, spunky as can be. What I find interesting is you guys had to learn to sign,
Yes.
and then she's learned now to communicate. And sometimes I notice she's doing both at the same time, right?
She does both simultaneously, and we think that's great. It's a second language for her, and as she learns to speak more, she'll use the signs more some days and the words some more some days, and we think it's great. And even though she's speaking now, we're continuing with the signs, and she likes to communicate. She has a lot of other little friends that sign as well, and she can communicate with them that way.
As we finish up here, gosh, if this doesn't make you want to give to Cardinal Hill, I don't know what does. But you guys have shared your story, shared her. What would you say to folks in these last few minutes here at the telethon to really call in and give us a donation?
Well, I would just say I've spoken to so many people who have personal connections to Cardinal Hill, and obviously we do. And even from my childhood, I remember my father had good experiences at Cardinal Hill as well. And we just have so many people that we know that have had therapy here personally, or have friends or family that have therapy here personally. And I just feel like we were always supporters of Cardinal Hill, and now we're benefiting from that too now. And I just would encourage people, even if you don't know somebody who's been through therapy here, you probably will at some point, or you might be here in your family sometime receiving support from Cardinal Hill. And so I would just say, pay it forward.
Sure. Well, here's the greatest compliment, I think, to Sam and myself. We met Ellis last Wednesday, and she just told me that they went home and she saw us on TV and said, "There's my friends." So that is the biggest compliment to both of us. Thank you, guys. Ellis, look at the camera and tell everybody thank you. Thank you. Thank you to everybody that's donated. All right, Morgan.